Hey, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I'm still home in Kansas City with these lovely mustard yellow walls. And wanted to do our weekly update. It's gonna just be me this week. I hope you enjoyed meeting Sarah, even though you can visually see her last week. Hope you enjoyed hearing from her and hearing a little bit about our start in our origin story, I guess is the best way to say that. Oh, you know what? I should have started with music because that's a part of what I'm going to talk about. Okay, all right, I'm going to throw some music on. Actually, I'm going to do the song that I did with the kids because that'll be... BU. It is by Ashley DuBois. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know how I found her. I think I found her on my Spotify. She came up on like my playlist. So I'm gonna play a little snippet of this song. All right. So I usually give like the first minute or so and let the kids come in with music. I found that it's been very calming for the kids coming in with music. I talked about it a couple of videos back. I think I mentioned it about an idea that I heard from a colleague of starting class each day with music, and it's been working out great. I didn't do it 1 or 2 days. They've been working on the roof here. My parents had some hail damage, and so it was like a lot of banging, and one of the kids sent me a private message and was like, "What's up with the music? Where's the music?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, well." So it's something that they've been looking forward to. So I definitely suggest if you are capable and able to start your classes with music, and it can, it can be some of your favorite songs. I think it helps my own personal anxiety. It helps the kids. It's just a calming way to enter, and gives you a minute and gives them a minute just to center themselves in the space. Another thing that I've been doing, so the school that I work at, we are pretty heavy on the synchronous side with instruction, and that can be really draining for the kids. So I have a writing journal, and when the kids do the writing journals, I actually don't give them verbal instructions. I hold the journal up. Let's see if I don't think I have the journal near me. I don't know what I did with my writing journal. Oh, here it is. So I usually will mute myself to make sure I don't talk to them, and I'll just like hold the journal up and point so they know that they get it. I hold up the supplies that they need, like this, so they know that it's time to go. Grab the stuff. I open up to the first page, which is our table of contents, and I point what they're supposed to have. I'll put in the chat in case they can't read whatever it's supposed to be. And then we go, and then I'll put the actual prompt in there. And it forces the kids to be engaged because they can't just tune me out. They have to watch what I'm doing and mimic my behavior. And it's a really great thing. And if they have questions, they put it in the chat as well. So that's been a really great way of giving the kids a way to get engaged without me lecturing or even talking at them. I don't do a lot of heavy lecture, never have. But that's been a really cool way of getting them engaged and making sure that they're paying attention. Been heavy on the breakout rooms too, of giving them questions, making sure that they understand the questions before sending them to the breakout rooms, right? Like, so here's what we're doing. Here's the expectation. Here's a copy of the questions. Does everybody understand what my expectation is? Send you to the breakout rooms, come back from the breakout room. All right, now one person from each group tell me what it is that you want to share out with the whole group, and we share out that way. I also go and join each breakout room. periodically, randomly, just to make sure that the conversation is going well. I'll have them read textbooks that way too. So it's not just them reading. Sometimes I'll read the textbook to them. Sometimes I have them pair off. Sometimes I have them to go in small groups. So it's just not them, kind of help to decrease that feeling of isolation as well. I found that to be helpful as well. And then for my 6th grade class today, sometimes it's just good not to be in Zoom. Zoom fatigue is real. So I was like, hey, we're not meeting. Here's what you need to do. And I don't think everything has to be graded. I've never thought that before, but I realized that I graded a lot in class. This is what I learned about myself this year. So I was like, I don't remember grading this much last year. And I realized I graded a lot with the kids in class and having them check over their own work and then me collecting it and then making sure that they put the right stuff down. So to make my work life easier, like, okay, this is worth grading. This is not worth grading. We're just going to go over this in class. This is what they're going to turn in. When going over answers, right, displaying that on the screen so the kids can keep up, and then also making the assignments relate to each other, right? So my 6th graders in my 6th grade class is ancient Mesopotamia. So they had a reading that they did independently, which was about the Mesopotamian geography. And then they did a small group activity. And neither one of these were graded, but their homework for that night was to write a short answer essay about why people settled in Mesopotamia. So if you didn't do that work, then it shows up in your short answer essay, right? So I'm not grading 3 separate assignments. I'm just grading one that is cumulative. If you didn't do those 2 things, it shows up in this 3rd thing. That's how I'm trying to do my stuff. So the kids then understand of like, oh, it's important for me to do this work, not because it's graded, but because it helps to further my understanding so I can do this future work in the process, right? Like, I don't want grade-driven kids. Like, I'm doing this just because it's for a grade. I want you to understand that you're learning this for a purpose. It helps to increase your knowledge, right? This connects to this, which connects to this. So when I put all these things together, this is why I'm learning this. This is why I need to read it. This is why I'm taking notes. This is why I'm highlighting. Okay, it's not about the grade. It's about me getting this knowledge so I can use it in the future. So I'm trying to figure out how to shift some of my things, especially for my 6th graders. We have a lot of hands-on activities, which don't really translate well online. So I'm trying to figure out how to shift that to more of the activities like what I just mentioned. I've dropped a couple of tests that we've had because I'm just like, we don't need this stress. You don't need to be stressed because you don't stress me. I don't want to be stressed. We just don't want this stress. So why are we going to stress? We're not just going to stress. So we're going to do a Mesopotamia Kahoot. It's not graded. It's the same concept. Do you know this information? And I'm going to give them a little reflection sheet afterwards of like, if this had been a test, how do you think you would have done? Are you retaining the information, right? Because it's going over the same skill set. But it's a pandemic, right? Like, I cannot teach the same way that I did when it wasn't a pandemic because it wasn't a pandemic. It's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. So I can't hold myself to the same standards. It's just not realistic. So we gonna Kahoot this thing and we gonna talk about it afterwards. We doing a lot of talking and they're doing a lot of talking and using the chat. We chat it up. We mute ourselves in chat because we all can't talk at the same time. We can't do that. So that's been great too. I think those are the big areas of where I found success for distance learning. In addition to just interdisciplinary lessons, right? So the timelines that I give the kids, they have writing and pictures and different things. So it's tapping into a lot of different things for that. And then Edpuzzle, oh my God, if you're not using Edpuzzle, I don't care what you teach. Well, maybe math may not translate, perhaps. I don't know. I love Edpuzzle because it's videos, but it pauses to ask questions in the videos. So Edpuzzle is an amazing thing. If you're looking for ways to increase reading in your classroom, ReadWorks, Common Lit, fantastic resources. Yeah, So those are my tips and hints and helpful things for distance learning. That's what's been helpful for me. I would love to hear from you of what you found that's been helpful. I think we're all just trying to make it. That's going to be my next song, Trey Songz, Just Trying to Make It. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Thinking about you day after day. You know, just trying to make it. Oh Lord, just trying to make it. Yes, that's my theme song right now. We just trying to make it. So again, love to hear what's working for you, what you found helpful. I hope that this was helpful. If you are looking for resources that are more targeted for anti-bias, for your classroom, for your school, for your educational organization, please feel free to hit us up. We are at the Anti-Bias Educator on Twitter. No, on Instagram. At the Anti-Bias Edu on Twitter. The Anti-Bias Educator on Facebook, of course. And Stephanie at the antibiaseducator.com if you need to email. All right. Until next time, enjoy your week. We'll see you Monday. Yeah.